Life rarely takes from you by force. It does not send a thief in the night to steal your future. Instead, it sends a request, a polite notification, a seemingly harmless obligation. It arrives in the form of a buzzing phone, a colleague asking for just a minute, or a friend needing emotional support at the exact moment you needed to rest. Because these requests look like kindness, we open the door. We hand over our attention, our energy, and our precious minutes without checking the price tag. We do this not because we are foolish, but because we are afraid. Afraid of the silence that follows a decline. Afraid of the judgment that comes with a boundary. Afraid of being seen as difficult, selfish, or cold. But the Stoics, who studied human nature more deeply than any modern psychologist, understood a brutal reality. What is given freely is rarely cherished. What is perpetually available eventually becomes invisible. Consider the sun. It rises every single morning without fail. We depend on it for life itself. Yet how often do you stop and truly marvel at its existence? Almost never. It becomes a fixture, a background element. You only notice the sun when it is obscured by clouds or absent during an eclipse. The same principle applies to you. When you are a constant fixture in the lives of others, you stop being a presence and start becoming a piece of the scenery. You become expected, not appreciated. You become assumed, not valued. This is not a cynical observation about humanity. It is a simple law of psychology. The human mind is designed to adapt to constant stimuli. It tunes out the familiar. It disregards the guaranteed. When you make yourself endlessly accessible, you are effectively training the people around you to take you for granted. You are teaching them that your time costs nothing, your peace is negotiable, and your energy is up for rent. The goal of this journey is not to make you cold. It is not to turn you into a recluse. The goal is to make you intentional, to stop you from being a vending machine that dispenses validation, time, and effort with a single press of a button. You are a human being, not a resource to be extracted. And the moment you realize that, the moment you start treating your presence like the rare commodity it is, everything changes. To understand why you feel exhausted, you must first understand the economy of your existence. You are walking around with 3 non-renewable currencies. These are not metaphors. They are the literal building blocks of your life. The first is time. It is the most obvious, yet the most ignored. Time is the only resource you cannot earn back. You cannot save it for later. You cannot return it for a refund. Every 60 seconds, the universe cashes another coin from your wallet. Regardless of who you are, you get the same amount each day. The Stoics understood this acutely. Seneca wrote that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. He warned that we are often so busy letting others borrow our lives that we forget to live our own. The second currency is attention. This is the gateway to reality. Where you place your attention, you place your life. If you give your attention to worry, you live in anxiety. If you give it to anger, you live in conflict. If you give it to the endless scroll of social media, you live in a simulation of other people's lives. Attention is the only thing you truly own. It is the lens through which you experience existence. Yet we hand this lens to anyone who asks. We let strangers on the internet dictate our mood. We let toxic bosses hijack our peace. The third currency is energy. This is the fuel that allows you to act on your decisions. It includes your emotional capacity, your physical vitality, and your mental resilience. Many people wake up with a full tank, and by midday, they are running on fumes. Why? Because they have spent their energy managing the emotions of others, solving problems that are not theirs, and worrying about things they cannot control. Epictetus said that no man is free who is not master of himself. To be master of yourself, you must guard these 3 currencies with the ferocity of a dragon guarding gold. Not because you are greedy, but because an empty vault cannot support a meaningful life. When you say yes to a draining meeting, you are spending time. When you check your phone during dinner with your family, you are spending attention. When you obsess over a critical remark from a coworker, you are spending energy. These transactions happen constantly, rarely questioned, and often without any return on investment. You are investing your life into things that do not yield happiness, growth, or peace. It is time to start auditing these expenses. Most people believe they are generous. They believe they are naturally helpful. And while that is sometimes true, there is often a darker, quieter engine driving their availability. That engine is the fear of rejection. The Stoics taught that we are not disturbed by events, but by our opinions about them. The reason you struggle to say no is not that the request is too important, but because your opinion of yourself is too fragile. You are terrified that if you decline, you will no longer be seen as the good one. You have built your identity on the approval of others. Think deeply about this. When you say yes to something you hate, who are you protecting? Are you protecting the other person's feelings, or are you protecting your own image? Often we are simply shielding ourselves from the temporary discomfort of a disappointed expression. We project the other person's hypothetical disappointment onto our own psyche and feel the pain before it even happens. So we capitulate to avoid a phantom emotion. This is what Seneca called living life as a rehearsal. We are constantly performing for an audience, trying to direct a narrative where we are universally liked. But the performance is exhausting and the audience is fickle. The truth is far more liberating. Many of the people you are exhausting yourself for would not do the same for you. This is not pessimism, it is objectivity. The hierarchies of human relationships are rarely equal. You may see someone as a priority, but they might only see you as an option. This is a hard pill to swallow, but swallowing it is necessary. If you charge nothing for your presence, you are communicating that your presence has no value. You are saying that your peace is negotiable, your goals are secondary, and your life is up for rent. And the world, being a diligent tenant, will fill that rented space with its own noise and clutter. It will leave you with the emotional equivalent of unpaid rent and broken furniture. You must ask yourself whether you are kind or whether you are just weak. Kindness is a choice that comes from strength. Weakness is a compliance that comes from fear. One produces dignity, the other produces resentment. And resentment, if left unchecked, is the poison that ruins the soul of the people-pleaser. Let us look deeper into why constant availability reduces your value. This is rooted in the neuropsychology of adaptation, known as the hedonic treadmill. Your brain is wired to filter out the background noise. Imagine you walk into a room with a loud fan. At first, the noise is intrusive. You cannot concentrate. But after a few minutes, your brain habituates. The sound fades into the background. The fan is still spinning. The decibels have not dropped. The only thing that has changed is your perception. The stimulus remains, but the response diminishes. You are the fan in many people's lives. You spin tirelessly. You provide cool air. You are essential for comfort. Yet, because you are always there, you become the background. People stop noticing your hum. They stop appreciating the relief you provide. They only notice when the fan stops spinning and the room gets hot. The Stoics reflected on this concept through the lens of memento mori, the constant awareness of death. They did not do this to be morbid. They did it to shatter the illusion of permanence. When you remember that nothing is permanent, you appreciate its presence. When you remember that a person can leave, you treat them better. When you remember that a moment can pass, you savor it. But by making yourself endlessly predictable, you remove the threat of loss. Others never have to wonder if you will answer the phone. They never have to speculate if you will show up. The answer is always a guaranteed yes. Eventually, predictability turns into assumption. Assumption turns into neglect. Aristotle observed that we value what is rare more than what is abundant. The air we breathe is the most essential element of life, yet we only think about it when we are suffocating. The people who miss you the most are not the ones you see every day. They are the ones who have experienced your absence. Absence is not a punishment. Absence is a teacher. It teaches others the weight of your presence. It teaches you the value of your solitude. If you want to know your worth, remove yourself from the equation. See who notices. See who searches for you. See who puts in the effort to cross the gap you have created. The results will be illuminating. You will quickly see who is a passenger on your journey and who is merely a hitchhiker looking for a free ride. There is a mathematical truth that we often ignore to protect our feelings. Every yes contains a hidden no. When you say yes to a request that drains you, you are simultaneously saying no to something that fulfills you. You are saying no to your health. You are saying no to your creative projects. You are saying no to your family. You are saying no to your mental peace. But because this no is invisible, it is a ghost of a decision. You do not feel the immediate guilt of it. You do not see the book you never wrote because you were too busy editing someone else's report. You do not see the weight you gained because you were too exhausted to cook a healthy meal. You do not see the relationship that drifted away because you spent all your emotional energy on a toxic friendship. These are ghost investments. They are the opportunities you lose because you are too busy holding on to the ones that do not serve you. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent. It is the practice of pausing before you agree to anything. Instead of reacting automatically, you weigh the commitment against your larger goals. Seneca warned that there is nothing the busy man is less busy with than living. Busyness is a veil. It hides the lack of direction. If your life is full but your soul is empty, you are simply moving furniture around on the deck of the Titanic. You are rearranging the chaos rather than escaping the sinking ship. To become expensive, you must stop being a hoarder of obligations. Hoarders keep things out of fear that they might need them someday. People pleasers keep obligations out of fear that they might lose favor. But holding on to junk or bad commitments prevents you from grasping the treasures that are waiting for you. Every morning, ask yourself what is the one thing you should absolutely not be doing today. And then stop doing it. Defend that hour. Defend that moment. The world will try to fill the void you just created, but do not let it. That void is sacred. That void is where the real you begins to emerge. We have been conditioned to believe that presence is the ultimate gift, and it is. But unintentional presence is a curse. When you are present without purpose, you are just a body occupying space. Absence, on the other hand, is a magnifying glass. It enlarges the perception of who you are. Consider the story of Diogenes and Alexander the Great. Alexander, the most powerful man in the world, visited Diogenes, the philosopher who lived in a barrel. Alexander stood over him and offered him anything: wealth, power, land. Diogenes, unimpressed, simply replied that Alexander should stand a little out of his sunlight. Diogenes had nothing. He was physically absent from the courts of power. Yet, his presence was so potent that the emperor of the known world traveled to see him. Diogenes understood the ultimate secret. He was not valuable because of what he could give. He was valuable because he was utterly content in himself. He did not need Alexander's approval. Alexander needed Diogenes' attention. When you are afraid of being alone, you compromise. You accept poor treatment. You accept boring conversations. You accept mediocre opportunities. You become a beggar for company. But when you are comfortable in your own company, you are a king. You do not need to chase. You attract. Staying away from the crowd does not mean you hate the crowd. It means you respect yourself enough to not get swept up in the current. The salmon swims against the current to spawn. The dead fish simply floats downstream. If you are constantly floating along with the demands of others, you are living a passive life. To live a passive life is to die a slow death. Absence creates friction. Friction creates awareness. When you are not there, people must grapple with the void you left. They must reflect on what you brought to the table. And in that reflection, they often realize your value, far more than they did when you were wearing yourself out for a pat on the back. This is why silence is so powerful. Silence is the absence of noise. When you stop filling the air with promises, explanations, and apologies, People start listening to your actions. They start watching your consistency. They start respecting your limits. The moment you start raising your price, you will face an immediate backlash. This is a predictable phase of transformation. The people who benefited most from your cheapness will be the first to complain. They will call you arrogant. They will say, "You have changed." They will use phrases like, "I thought you were a good person," or "I never thought you would be this selfish." They will try to trigger your guilt. This is a manipulation tactic, whether they are conscious of it or not. Guilt is the currency of control. If they can make you feel guilty, they can make you compliant. Epictetus had a blunt response to this. He said that if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. You must be willing to be the villain in someone else's story to be the hero in your own. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think you are cold. Their opinion is a reflection of their convenience, not your character. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When they lash out, do not lash back. When they try to pull you into an argument about your boundaries, do not engage. A boundary is not a negotiation. It is a decision. You do not need to explain yourself. Exhaustive explanations are often just disguised pleas for approval, pleas for understanding so they will not be mad at you. Stop begging to be understood by people who are committed to misunderstanding you. If they truly value you, they will respect your need for space. If they only value your utility, they will resent you for standing up. The reaction you receive tells you everything you need to know about the relationship. This is the tyranny of the outrageous. The people who shout the loudest are often the most entitled. Do not let the loudest voice in the room dictate the direction of your life. Turn down the volume. Let them shout until they are hoarse. Their exhaustion does not invalidate your freedom. Remember, the flame that is too accessible burns out quickly. It loses its ability to light the way, but the flame that is shielded from the wind burns steadily, providing consistent light and warmth. Guard your flame. Let the wind howl. You stay steady. To stop giving yourself away, you must undergo a radical identity shift. You must stop seeing yourself as a helper and start seeing yourself as a leader. You must stop seeing yourself as an option and start seeing yourself as the prize. Does this sound arrogant? It is not arrogance. It is alignment. The sunflower does not chase the sun. It turns to face it and absorbs its light. You are the sun of your own life. You are the center. Everything else orbits around you. If you are constantly orbiting other people, you are a moon, not a star. You are reflecting their light instead of generating your own. The Stoics defined worth not by external possessions, but by internal virtue. Your worth is determined by your character, your integrity, and your alignment with nature. If you sacrifice your integrity for someone else's approval, you have lost the only true currency that matters. Let us talk about the fitting in trap. Fitting in requires you to shrink. To be accepted by the group, you must compress your personality, hide your opinions, and diminish your presence. Belonging, on the other hand, requires you to grow. Belonging means finding the group that fits your expanded self. When you start saying no, you are weeding out the groups that require you to shrink. You are making space for the groups that allow you to expand. It is lonely at the top, they say. But that is only because the top is a place of high elevation where the air is clear. It is lonely because few people are willing to make the climb. Most people prefer the comfort of the valley, where the crowd is thick and the expectations are low. But if you want to become expensive, you must be willing to leave the valley. You must be willing to tolerate the silence of the mountain. When you truly believe in your own value, you stop begging to be chosen. You become the one doing the choosing. You choose who receives your energy. You choose who receives your time. You choose who gets access to the inner sanctum of your mind. This is the ultimate power, the power of selection. So, where do you go from here? You have heard these ideas. Perhaps they have sparked a fire in your chest. But the fire must be fueled by action, not just inspiration. Start small. Tomorrow, when you feel the habitual urge to say yes, stop, breathe, count to 5. Feel the discomfort of that pause. Then decide, not based on what they want, but based on what you need. If the answer is no. Say it clearly. Say it without apology. The craving to add "I am sorry" to every boundary is a remnant of your old self. Do not apologize for your existence. Do not apologize for protecting your peace. You are not a servant. You are the master of your soul. This journey is not about becoming unreachable or arrogant. It is about becoming deliberate. It is about recognizing that your life is too short to be spent as a utility for others. It is about understanding that your attention is a sacred tool that builds your reality. It is about knowing that your peace is a fortress that must be guarded constantly. The world will always compete for your attention. It will always try to commodify your energy. But you are not a commodity. You are a creator. You are a thinker. You are a force of nature. The moment you stop giving yourself away for free, you become expensive. Not in price, but in presence. Not in wealth, but in worth. When you walk into a room now, you carry a different gravity. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to win anyone over. You are simply there, whole and complete. People will notice the shift. They might not say it aloud, but they will feel it. They will feel your weight. They will feel the scarcity of your attention. And because it is scarce, it will become precious. The Stoics taught that the goal of life is not to live long, but to live fully. To live fully, you must live consciously. You must live intentionally. You must stop being the victim of other people's emergencies. Thank you for spending this time with us. In a world that pays you to be distracted, your choice to seek clarity and discipline is a rare act of strength. Do not let this insight disappear when you close this video. Carry it with you. Journal about it. Practice it. If this message has rekindled something in you, if you feel the call to go even deeper into these principles, take the next step. Your journey to self-mastery has only just begun. Continue building the fortress of your soul. You deserve the peace that waits for you on the other side of intention.